Hello good people, I am going to talk about chemistry. Chemistry is important because it feeds into a lot of other disciplines. For example, medicine and environment, forensics and nutrition, astronomy and geology, material science and biology. So all of these disciplines are connected to chemistry. So what is the point of this mystery science we call chemistry? Well, chemistry is the study of matter, and this includes both non-living and living things. So everything is made up of matter. The galaxy, our sun, our planet Earth, this taco, and most importantly, this goat. So in short, I could say that matter is all of the physical material in the universe. And that is great, but in sciences we like definitions. So how could we define matter? Well, in very simple terms, we say that matter is anything that has a mass and occupies a volume. And this definition makes sense in terms of the examples given. The goat, the taco, planet Earth, the sun, the galaxy. All of these things have a mass and they all occupy a certain volume. They all take up space. But what is matter actually made up of? What is this thing that occupies space or occupies a volume and has a mass? Well, all of matter is composed of atoms. But what are atoms? At this stage, we can say that atoms are very, very small particles that we often represent as spheres, such as this purple one on the right. It turns out that not all atoms are the same. And different atoms give rise to different elements. These different atoms can be represented by using spheres of different color. So for example, a black sphere might represent a carbon atom. A red sphere will represent an oxygen atom. And a white sphere may represent a hydrogen atom. But it doesn't stop at different atoms. Atoms can come together to form molecules. And so an atom of carbon can come together with an atom of oxygen to form carbon monoxide. We will explore how atoms form molecules later on. Note that these spheres that represent atoms and molecules are just a way of thinking about them. It is not the actual truth. This is not what atoms and molecules look like. Their actual structure is far more complex, and we will explore it a little bit later on. Why are these atoms so important to the concept of matter? Well, that is because an atom is the smallest particle that still retains the properties of the matter from which it came. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's say I have a lump of iron. It is made up entirely out of iron atoms. If I start dividing that lump into smaller and smaller fractions, or smaller and smaller heaps of iron, I will eventually reach the level of a single iron atom. That single iron atom has exactly the same properties as the lump of iron that I started with. This is not to say that there are no things smaller than the atom. In fact, there are subatomic particles. And we will explore some of these later on as well. These subatomic particles are actually very important for quite a lot of chemistry. But from the point of view of the matter, the most fundamental particle is the atom. That is all for now, and I will see you on the flip side.